just like you said, I mean, there's a lot to consider when you're trying to grow a business, a lot of variables. And I like how the three multipliers kind of just narrows it down to three factors, and you
Hmm.
could really just, pick one and focus on one at a time. And not, that's really what you're trying to do is which lever can you pull on right now that
Hmm.
you can increase and that will, help you increase your business. So,
All right, all right. Gotta get some cheering going. We don't really do this very often, but
there we
let's see if I
go.
can pan it down. Here we go, baby. All right. Cool. So we are back, the Sauce Pod, episode 12. I'm actually doing this podcast in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm actually at a buddy's house. It was his birthday yesterday, actually. And so I just wanted to come out here and visit him and kind of, just explore Nashville. I've been here a few times now. And so,
Would you guys
um,
do anything special for the birthday?
so yeah, we actually went to dinner. So when I first got here, I got here Wednesday. We were kind of just like getting settled in where I was, and then we went and saw a movie. It was like an older movie, like made in the 2000s. It was like a Chinese movie, and it was funny. Is like it was like obviously I don't speak Chinese, and so I had to read the subtitles. And I'm a little like I'm like, oh shoot, I might like not like catch this, you know what I mean? Because the words are moving kind of fast. But then
Right.
like honestly, like 5 minutes later, I forgot I was reading. Like it was
Hmm.
so crazy. Like I almost felt like I understood Chinese because I like saw the subtitles and I was just like, they're like da 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 da, Chinese, and then I would read the subtitles and then I was just like, I can understand them. I don't know. It was just like
Kind
a
of like
weird
you
thing.
can read the body language and it tells you enough.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a cool movie. I honestly forgot what it was called. It's like the motion of, or the, let's see, um, it was a good movie. It's like a love story, um, in the mood for love, and apparently it's one of Adrian's like favorite movies, and so um,
Cool.
it was cool. It was cool. So that was Wednesday, and then yesterday was like I said was his birthday, and so we went to a really nice dinner. Um, and it was called The Optimist, and it was really nice. I had mahi mahi and some like roasted Brussels sprouts, and I had two beers, and yeah, no, it was good, man. Oh, cheesecake too. Yeah, I know.
Oh, nice.
It was really nice. But then now we're just gonna be chilling today. I was this close. I was this close of getting a because I saw a helicopter fly by earlier this morning. I was like, that would be cool. Helicopter tour. And so I looked into it and you know, it was expensive. Yeah, like the for two people, 30 minutes is like $400, right? And but then you can do like two people 15 minutes and it's like $200. And I was like, eh, I would much rather do the 30 minutes for $200 or
Right.
like the 15 minutes for 100, but it just well because there's two people, so it's $100 a person. So
Gotcha.
um, but maybe next time. But I have flown in a helicopter once, and it was amazing. And it was like a
Cool.
quick 15 minute. It was in St. Louis with Arch, and so it
Hmm.
was me and my cousin. We decided it's like we could either go into the Arch, which I didn't know you could do that in St.
Yeah,
Louis.
I
You
didn't
can
know for the longest time. Yeah.
I had no idea, right? So you can go into the Arch, and then I looked over and I saw a barge in the water, and there was a helicopter on top of it, and it said helicopter tours, and I was like, that sounds even cooler. You know what I mean? So we could really get the view of St. Louis, and within 15 minutes. And I think it was actually a lot cheaper. I think it was like 50 or $75 per person. So yeah, no, it was cool. So I definitely have had the like a quick experience of flying in a helicopter, and it was fun. So
Cool.
but yeah, now we're just chilling, and yeah, we're just doing our thing here. I'm here in Nashville, so I'm here until Sunday. So um, I think we're just kind of winging it now. Now that like everything is kind of all the birthday is kind of done or whatever, but it's still like the birthday weekend. So I'm down. Really, I'm down to do whatever. But what about you? Good.
Everything's good. I'm about to crawl under my house and fix the rest of the broken water pipes that happened over the last couple of weeks. So,
Dang, because of the freeze, we
nothing too
had a
exciting.
freeze.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So,
Well,
and then just planning for a wedding, all that good stuff.
woo. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let
We
me
got the
see.
DJ we wanted, so that's
Oh,
probably the
good.
most exciting part.
Nice. Okay, cool. So here's like another one for the I'm just slow on this. Congratulations, getting
Nice.
married. Yes, yes, yes.
Appreciate it.
All right,
There we
all
go.
right. But yeah, it's pretty neat. It would be easier if it was actually like a little button pad
Hmm.
where, and then I could actually like dial it in, like the volume, because like this little mouse is kind of clunky, and it's like I'm like, trying to get going. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the three multipliers. Which I've learned this like a few from a few places. There's this Jay Abraham guy. He's kind of like a marketing consultant. I actually found a video that he did 11 years ago, that he was talking about this, and so I thought that was really cool. And I actually have a book, an e-commerce book. It's a green and black one. It's like e-commerce evolve, and they spoke about it with the three multipliers. Basically, it's the how you can grow a business using these three metrics, and it's right here. It's increase the number of customers is number one. Increase the number of purchases per customer, and increase the amount of money per purchase. So it's like, increase your customers, total paying customers, your frequency, which is like your average purchase frequency. So getting people to buy consistently, right? And then
Sooner. Yeah.
and sooner, right? And then your AOV, right? That's like you want to try and get people to purchase more, like your cross sell, upsell type stuff, right? And so getting that cart more, having more, having people just like buy more stuff, you know what I mean? Whether it be, if you're selling socks, you could sell another pair for a slightly bit of a discount, and then, and then it just increases your cart, I guess you could say. And so we wanted to kind of go over, and this could be probably like a 2-3 hour, kind of conversation, like you were saying earlier
Easy.
before we jumped. Right, exactly. So we don't necessarily want to take all the time, because like we could probably keep going on this. And I think this is kind of like a introductory kind of like conversation as we move in, into the year, and kind of like learn even more on this kind of, this idea and concept. But I got some information pulled up here. But so the first one is like increasing your customers, right? So you could do it like with paid ads, or you could do it by email, right? So we're not really into the paid ads department. We don't really mess with it. We do have partners that specialize in that. But when it comes to getting more customers from email, there are like a few email flows that we can set up, and flows, if whoever's listening not familiar with flows, it's just a email automation. And so what else? Let's see. We have, so building customers, it's like your welcome flow, right? So you want people to come in here, land on your store, whether you get the ads, right? Boom, they land on your store, and then they sign up, right? And then the first email they get is your welcome flow, right? And so I like the welcome flow because it's like introductory to your brand, right? In your opinion, Sean, what what do you think like makes the welcome flow, or the welcome flow, so powerful? And like, how many emails would you? I know we had a video about this last time, but like to kind of bring that back or whatever. But like in terms of the welcome flow, what are your kind of top key like focus points for the welcome flow?
So the whole purpose of a welcome flow is to get someone to make that first purchase.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say, having, it's probably part offer, part customer experience that's like separates yourself from like every other brand that's probably doing something exactly like you're thinking about doing. So trying to like separate yourself from like the point of when they sign up for that email. So like that pop up, making it one, a compelling offer, having, make sure you're doing the right testing so it like pops up at a good time, but not too soon. And then, once they do sign up, I think from that point alone, And before they get that first welcome email, they'll have probably a good sense of like, is this kind of like very on brand and going to be kind of a fun, cool experience? Or is this just like a carbon copy of every other sign up form and welcome flow that I've seen over and over and over again a dozen times? So, that pop-up is a really good entry point. And then you put your email in there, maybe even your phone number, and then you get your first like welcome email, welcome text. And so, I think that first email is just, you just want to deliver on that promise of whatever that sign up form was. So if it was like, a recipe book, deliver on the recipe book. If it's a percentage or dollar amount off, then deliver that in your first welcome email, but make it very on brand, obviously, so like, and you want your copy, you want your everything to kind of reflect that. And I think that is kind of like your first impression with a customer, with a potential customer. And so really all the emails that follow that are really, again, just trying to get that person to make a first purchase. So you probably want to lead with your best foot forward, which is like your best selling product, and then, kind of offer up reasons, why they would want to purchase that product. So maybe talk about benefits rather than features, and, what problems it's going to solve for them. And so just really being like very customer forward. I think those kind of aspects really make a good, welcome flow.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I definitely agree. So like to sum it up, it's like welcome to the brand, welcome to the family. Like, we are this kind of brand, it's like we could talk about the story of it, but then it's like, because a lot of times there's that like first initial pop-up where it has that offer, like the 10%, 20%, whatever. And so it's like acting on that. So then with this first multiplier, being customers, that's really the idea is to get customers when you're like doing emails, right? And so I think that's really important to think about, like the welcome like email, the welcome flow in that regard. But also there's like the abandoned cart or the abandoned checkout email, which also reminds people that, hey, like you have this in your cart, like, cause it's really just trying to get that first customer. So it's the welcome flow, it's the abandoned cart, browse abandonment, people that are like browsing around, and then you have this flow or this trigger where it's like they viewed the product, boom, it sends them an email, added a cart. And then, there's also the active on site too. So, you can kind of play with that one if you want and have some humor to that one. But all those are like the first kind of core, flows that you need to put in place in order to generate more customers within the email side of things, right? I'll mention, about like ad spend, just brief, but because that's not really what we do. But I was able to like look into this, and I want to get more nerdy with it. It's like ad spend formula. So it's like you basically have to figure out how, like, what your CAC is, right? Customer acquisition costs, or your you know what I mean? So it's like, say it's $100, and you're trying to get, whatever, however many, clients or customers that you're trying to get. So, but it costs you $100 per customer, right? So you times that by, let's say 20. So then that's $2,000 on ad spend that you need to do to get those customers in on there. But the thing is that if you're spending $100, how much is your widget? You know what I mean? And so what I've learned, which is called like the CAC to LTV or CLV, kind of the same thing, is a 3-to-1. So then if you are selling, or if your like CAC is like $100, you want to make sure that it's like that your widget is like at least $300. So then you can kind of cover the costs. And so I've been doing some research, and I know that it's like the 3-to-1 ratio. And so that's really cool. So that's like just a quick brief understanding on like what it means to like go out and push for YouTube, not YouTube, but like Facebook ads or TikTok ads, and try and drive that traffic to your website. And then understanding how much it costs to get that customer, an actual person that has paid for your stuff. So, kind of just depends on the product itself. But like you can kind of figure that out on like the media buying side. So, but that's not really where we specialize in, but I just wanted to speak to it because there's multiple ways of getting customers, and that's another way. But, in terms of the email stuff, the customer kind of flows that we were speaking on is like really the way to go. And so I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but I can move forward to the next one.
Yeah, let's move on.
Cool. So the next one is increase the number of purchases per customer. So it's like this is the frequency, right? So it's like average purchase frequency. How frequent do they buy? And so it's like, and this is usually like a percentage. It's like could be 1 or it could be 1.5, right? So then that means that most of the time it's like a little over one person will come back. It's not like half a person will come back and buy your stuff, right? So it's a little weird to think about it, but I think as a whole, 1.5 of your audience will come back and purchase again. Not quite every single person will come back and buy a second time. So it could be 1.5, could be 1.7. You know what I mean? If it's 2, 3, that's great because then that shows you that people are actually coming back multiple times, 2 or 3 times. And so I think being able to understand your frequency is like extremely important. So I have a list of kind of emails to focus on when it comes to your frequency. And so right now we have this is kind of like your retention machine. So it's like turn one-time buyers into multiple buyers and then eventually advocates, right? So then you have your post-purchase flow. Post-purchase flow is I feel like really important, right? And then depending on your brand, I think that the first one could be like, and we were actually just talking about this post-purchase flow the other day. We're actually building one for a client right now. And so I think in the beginning, especially if they don't have anything, I think 2, 3, emails to get things going, especially if you don't have one at all, I think get something going for sure. You know what I mean? So post-purchase is when someone has purchased a product and then they move into this like flow where it's like the trigger is placed order, right? So once they place the order, they get this email, and it kind of depends on the timing of your transactional emails from Shopify. And so you can kind of figure that out on the back end, but could be like 30 minutes to an hour. Then someone will get a thank you email, which thanks them for placing their order. And so I think that adding in like a thank you, adding in like some reviews, Sean, you mentioned last time we spoke about it, like adding in some reviews to kind of like help that buyer's remorse. You want to speak on that a little bit?
Sure. It's I think we could all take a few notes out of Amazon's playbook, and the ultimate e-commerce giant out there that do it really well because they have this psychology like on the page of, you hear it all the time of like, well, this product has got 20,000 good reviews, and it's like, okay, and so it makes people feel really good about purchasing that product, whether or not it's actually a good product or not. But yeah, I think like, post-purchase, people have, the psychology of it, as I understand it, is like people have a tendency to have, between the point where they actually purchase the product and the time where they actually receive the product, there's a little bit of that window where there could be some buyer's remorse. And you want to kind of reduce that as much as possible, and using your, first couple post-purchase emails to speak to the quality of the product, to maybe offer up like, here's our customer support if you do have any questions along the way, having reviews in there just to make people feel good about their purchase. Things like that, just to reduce that buyer's remorse, I think is a really good way to lead those first couple emails
Cool.
up while they're waiting for that package.
Yeah. I like that. That, like you said, waiting for the package, and once they get the package, it could be just a few days, and if you're
Hopefully.
yeah, right, exactly right, compared to like competing against the 1-2 day Amazon stuff. You know what I mean? So that's part of like retention, right? Is getting their stuff like on time and like in a reasonable amount of time. I think people nowadays, Amazon has like spoiled us for having 2 day shipping, so that's a lot to compete with. But at the same time, you know, loyal loyal customers are okay with waiting a little longer to getting the exact same thing, the exact thing that they want. So it's like, cool. Like if I'm like really passionate about or like really love this widget from this brand, I'm okay. I don't necessarily need it in 2 days. You know what I mean? I can hold off because I know like I'm excited about it or whatever. But, and then, for post purchase, like I think that it's also the frequency stage, right? So then it's like we're trying to get them to repurchase, and so it's like that's part of one of the emails or flows to get them to repurchase. And so within that same flow, you can add in an email or two to speak to like cross sell, upsell type situation. So the idea, so like you were saying, it's like once they're comfortable and understand how the product is used or how it works. So like I believe education is really important to have in a post purchase.
Yes.
Depending on the widget, some widgets are more confusing and complex than other widgets, right? Socks might not really need to know, which however would be pretty comical if you actually put in, like a how-to little snippet in your email and you were selling socks. It's like, open package, slide on foot, enjoy comfortable sock. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So that would be like, that just came to me. So that would be kind of a funny way to add in, humor, but then also like how to use the product. But,
your use of the word widget instead of product has me really like thrown off because it feels like widget feels like a digital product.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like that ship time is immediate.
Yeah. Okay.
Versus,
okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. So product. Yeah. So product.
Like a physical product.
Like a physical product. Yeah. And so, yeah, hopefully that cleared anything up from anybody else. It's like, is he talking about digital widgets or a product? Like, what is he talking about? Yeah. So to fix that. Yeah. I was speaking
called
more
a fidget,
on
a little fidget
spinner, right? But yeah, product. So, yeah, so that's kind of my take on the post purchase and trying to get people to really just repurchase that, build that education piece, but then also like get them to because they're more comfortable now at that point, and then at this point they've actually had the product, but there's like some things that I'm seeing, like even like upselling them or like cross-selling them like immediately, you know what I mean? And so I would be interested to seeing that like kind of play out, you know what I mean? And like I don't know how that would feel like if I were to purchase like a product. This is like I think Sean, you know what this is. This is rock climbing lotion.
Yeah.
And so if you were to buy this online for $30, and then an hour later you get a thank you email and it says, actually, here is 20% off. Maybe your next order for this piece, for the same thing. So that would be kind of cool. And it kind of just depends on, when they actually purchase it. So it's like you're giving them a bump to actually want to come back and purchase it, right? So it could be 10%, whatever. Do you have anything to?
Yeah, I would say like if you're gonna like if you're gonna try and cross sell them right away, and you want to give them like, if you want to go the route of giving them the discount to cross sell it, I'd put like a quick, like a timeline on it, put a nice deadline on there.
Yes.
Or I mean, I do see brands, like one of my favorite brands is On It, and I mean they're really big about doing that right away before you even finish the cart. They will try to upsell you, and then if you exit out of that, they'll try and just cross sell it. So they'll typically go for a higher priced item, then they'll go for like an evenly priced item, and then they'll go for like a lower tier item. And I think even after that, sometimes they'll give you like a free, like, hey, just try this for free, and give you like a 7-day trial on that thing, which,
cool.
I mean, it isn't going to work for every brand, but it definitely is. If you're looking to pull one of those levers, and you're trying to get someone to purchase, increase their AOV, like that cart size, having a good cross sell is definitely a way to do it. If you're trying to increase frequency, I think, having, maybe offering a discount before their next purchase and say, hey, this is only good for like 15 days. So you're trying to really like decrease the window. If they purchase like once every 3 months, can we get them to purchase within 60 days or even better within the next 30 days? So just trying to give them something like there's the obvious like, okay, you bought shampoo, so we're going to cross sell you conditioner, something
Mm-hmm.
like that that's complementary.
Sure.
That could be an easy choice for them just to just try it out as well, within that 30-day window. Like, okay, I like the shampoo, let me go ahead
Mhm.
and try out the conditioner too.
Yeah, no, I like that. And then like you kind of touched on it, like understanding that like repurchase rate, right? That repurchase window. It's like I buy now. How long does it take me to buy or take them to buy the second product, right? And then when you know that, like you can actually kind of form the post purchase in a way to like nurture them. So it's like that like it takes, like you said, 60 days to make the next purchase. Then you can like have your discount kind of according to that. You could have nurturing within that time, and then you could have other emails to kind of support that time window, right? So I think that's really cool. You said that, but yeah, and I hesitate using discounts so much, but if you think about it, that first customer could have come from like an ad, right? So then your margins are obviously lower, right? So they come from an ad, and so then they land on your website, and then you're giving them a 15% off, right? And then they purchase. So at that point, like, are you profitable at that first one? Sometimes not, and sometimes, like, at the very least, I would say break even. And then that second one, even though that you give them a discount, you're profitable on that second one, even with that discount. So then, I think it's like fair to kind of add that in there. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I think that's really what you're trying to do is trying to get them to not make just the first purchase, but also come back,
Hmm.
as soon as possible for that second purchase. And that's
Yeah.
when you can really kind of make them, a little bit more of like a brand advocate,
Hmm.
try to kind of get them into the community, so to speak. And
Yep.
yeah, I think that's,
Yeah.
decreasing
That's.
that window for more
Hmm.
frequency.
No, I love that. Yeah. And then brand advocate like VIP, speaking on that, you can have loyalty programs set up in place to really just, because that point system is really cool. You know what I mean? It's like you do all these certain things. We're actually setting up another like a rewards program for another client of ours, and it's like thinking that through, like what's that look like, and like how that helps retention. It's like bringing the person back. It's like, wow, I got more points by doing these things. I'm going to go back and use my points to be able to get this product again. You know what I mean? So it's just it kind of gamifies it. You know what I mean? It's like, because a lot of people aren't going to, like, let's say, sign up for an account. Like, I don't really have an account for really anything, but if I would just truly loved a certain brand, I might, get 500 points to sign up for an account, then so be it. You know what I mean? So the next time I fucking like check out, like my stuff's already there, so it's quick and excuse me. And so it's just like ready to go. You know what I mean? Sorry, I've just got just a rush of like heartburn. So I've
Oh,
been
worse.
eating hot chicken out here. So Nashville hot chicken is like they
Oh,
have that
yeah.
everywhere. All right, yeah. So it's like I need to kind of chill out. I had some breakfast, and it was a delicious like biscuits and gravy with a fried egg on top, and then like they had a hot chicken in there, and it was just like, all right, let's go for it. So I'm like finally feeling it. I'm like talking a lot, but but yeah, if you don't have anything else to speak on the post purchase, I can move forward to the next one.
Sure, yeah. Get a little
Okay. We
AOV
kind of
action.
Yeah, so within that frequency, there's like the post purchase. There's also like when we spoke about it, the upsell, cross sell, VIP, win back. All of those actually kind of merge or kind of like are kind of like next to the AOV, and that's like the next topic is AOV, and that's being able to not only bring them back, but then also purchase more within that next purchase. So if you were to bring them back, give them a 15% off, right? But then you have that cross sell upsell component to it. So then it's like, yes, they have come back, but they did use a discount, but they're spending more money because you have like this cross sell upsell kind of component to it. So then naturally your AOV is higher, right? And so that's really kind of the excuse me, the bulk of all three of these kind of multipliers AOV. So it's like You can, I'm, looking at it right now. It's like free shipping, discounts, obviously. You can actually increase your prices. How simple, you know, that sounds. Some people, some brands could just simply just like increase their pricing just a pinch, you know what I mean? And kind of,
I think a lot of brands might be doing that this year just to combat the costs. And then,
yeah,
yeah, I totally just forgot the other one I was thinking of. But
no, it's all
outside
good.
of
Yeah.
increasing your cost, you could raise the shipping tier,
Hmm.
which I've also seen some brands doing more recently too. So if it
Yeah.
was free shipping above 50, maybe it's free shipping above 75 or 99, whatever it is. Yeah,
Right. So it forces them to spend more to try and get that free shipping, right?
it can. Yeah, and I mean I've seen some really good like that customer experience where you're like in the cart and it's like, oh, you only need like 45 more bucks, to
Hmm.
get free shipping. And at that point, I'm weighing the cost. I'm like, okay, I either spend 15 on shipping or I go spend 40 more bucks and get, you know, I save that 15 in shipping. So
Yeah.
it does have its merits. And I think,
Yeah.
for those price savvy shoppers, and even just as a psychological hack, it can really work.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah. I think that's like a really cool way of being able to increase your AOV. And was looking, there was another one I thought, but no, I think, and so when you have all three of these, right, the idea is to essentially increase these by 30% incrementally, right? And it's just like not like a hard and fast rule. It's like you got to do 30% or you're losing. But if you're able to increase your customers by 30%, your frequency by 30%, and your AOV by 30%, then you will be able to um, double your revenue essentially. You know what I mean? And so it's like thinking about it that way, you can actually like, okay, like you mentioned levers. And so it's like, if I can, get to a point to where I can move these levers and like get, up to 30%, and doesn't necessarily have to be 30% on each, but so, because like some brands are different. So then it's like maybe you've increased your customers, 40 or even 50%, or you increased your frequency a little higher. So then your 30% on the other ones doesn't necessarily have to be 30%, if that makes sense, right? So it's just like, for me, it's like a way of like seeing, it's like, okay, like I can wake up in the morning as an e-commerce brand or e-commerce brand owner person, right? And like really, I know there's like multiple things to think about, in that regard, but like in terms of growing your business, I think that like understanding how to grow a business, what three levers to pull, and how much effort do I need to put into those, right? And so it's like you can calculate that. And so it's just like a really cool, interesting, like, idea to think about. And so like um, within like, let's say 1 quarter, you have, let's say 210 customers, right? And so you increase that by 30%. So then from 210, now you have 273, right? That's 30%. So then you have your frequency, right? Your frequency is 1.7, and then you increase that by 30%. So 1.7, 30%, that goes to 1.39. So that's your frequency. So 1.3, 1.40, 1.40, whatever is increased.
1.7 plus 30%.
Yeah, 1.7 plus 30% is 1.39, right? And so I have like a little chart here that I'm reading from. And so I kind of
The
already
number
done the
went
math.
down 1.7. Either way,
1.07 to
1.07. Got it.
yeah, yeah, 1.07, the
Got it.
30% is 1.39, right?
Got it.
And then let's say your average order value is $130, right? And then times 30%, and then now your average order value is $169. So then you literally went within that 1 quarter from $29,000 to $64,000 just by incrementally tweaking those three multipliers, right? Sorry for the confusion, but yeah, that's kind of like really cool. And any thoughts on that, Sean?
Just like you said, I mean, there's a lot to consider when you're trying to grow a business, a lot of variables. And I like how the three multipliers kind of just narrows it down to three factors. And you
Hmm.
could really just, pick one and focus on one at a time. And that's really what you're trying to do is which lever can you pull on right now
Mm-hmm.
that you can increase and that will, help you increase your business. So, because in the instance where maybe you've been for months spending quite a bit on like top of funnel ads and stuff, and you've been getting people in the door to sign up for your list, but maybe they haven't been making a purchase, or maybe they've been making one purchase and then you don't see them for 6 months to a year. So it's like, okay, well, cool. Well, we're getting a lot of people in the door, but now we need to increase the frequency, and maybe we'll start with frequency and then we'll work on AOV. But
Mm-hmm.
so just kind of deciding, looking at your numbers and seeing which one of those levers do I need to pull right now that will have the most impact, I think is really the way of kind of really simplifying it down to help yourself out, amidst all these decisions that need to be made.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, it makes me think of like kind of what stage it's in, because I saw a really cool chart from Shopify, and depending on what stage you're in, um, kind of allows you to know like how hard you should go into like acquisition, right? Top of funnel stuff. So if you're like literally brand new, no one knows who you are, I think that like essentially 100% of your efforts need to go into paid acquisition, right? Getting your business, out there, and like having people be aware of you, right? And so once you start like kind of accumulating some sales that way, then that's when you can start kicking in some retention. And so I would still go heavier on, the acquisition part of it, but then you can start implementing these emails that we're talking about to be able to catch some of those people, some of the traffic that don't actually purchase. And so, you have that ability to catch them, put them on your email list, and then nurture them over time. And then you can get really nerdy with it and see how long it actually takes for a typical person to go from, subscriber to first time customer, right? And then like it just goes down, you can just go down a rabbit hole when it comes to that. And so I know a buddy of mine has his own company. We actually had John Rue not too long ago, and we were talking about it, and he was saying that like 65% of his customers are returning customers, and I said like within his stage, it's like actually too high, and I think that he would benefit by going further in on the paid acquisition side, bringing that retention down to closer to 20%, right? And then, being able to spend a lot more money on the acquisition side. But then once things start to balance out and he's actually making consistent sales, 1, 2 sales per day, whatever, and it just grows from there, then he can kind of lean more into the the retention side, and then kind of pull back on ad spend. You know what I mean? And at that point, your list is a lot bigger. You own the marketing, you own your channel, like the audience, you know what I mean? And so that's like another really powerful thing. But I'm really fascinated by, the customer journey when it comes to e-commerce, and then like how to figure out like how you can get that kind of dialed in, right? And it takes time, you know what I mean? And so, and it obviously takes money. I know from a lot of the research and what I've been seeing is like, if you want cash flow business, e-commerce is not the way to go. You know what I mean? Because you're
Yeah.
constantly pumping in money, into your
Inventory.
inventory. Yeah. And then, I'm not too sure about it. I'm not real, experienced on like the shipping logistics, but we definitely hear that like a lot of these brands are having shipping logistics. And so that's like another conversation, but that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like these aren't like cash flow, generating businesses. It's like a kind of definitely a long-term kind of situation. And so, but, yeah, I think that really sums up like the three multipliers. And, as I like, learn more and dive into, other brands and our clients, and be able to really kind of understand these like nuance, like little tactics, you know what I mean? Like, I think we got it down pretty good. Like I have a whole list of just like the type of emails that we need to send for each stage, right? And so, because we're not in the paid acquisition, we have to focus on how we can create or generate customers for our clients by the levers that we can move, by building these different flows, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I said, all these flows, just try and generate that first time customer, and then understanding that psychology when it comes to a customer, and then getting them to purchase again. And then you have that. I love the referral program. I think that's really powerful. Word of mouth is probably one of the strongest ways of strongest thing of marketing. Because like I could see an ad and I'm not going to click on it. But if you tell me, hey, this coffee is badass, this is good coffee, I'm probably going to go and try it. You know what I mean? Like that's just the power of friend, like word of mouth. I think that's like really, really powerful. And so, like you said earlier, Amazon with the reviews, I think that's extremely powerful. Everybody is all about reviews, no matter where you go, restaurant, whatever.
Yeah.
There's like reviews. So
I think user generated content is like the 21st century word of mouth. It's like,
bro,
you may not really know that person, but you've seen them online and you have a trust built with them. They have kind of an authority in the space. I mean, and that's good, good enough for like, for me to like purchase that product. Obviously, if it's just some random person that I've never seen before, then it doesn't have enough merit or value for me. But yeah, we're talking in the instance where, someone that and you trust,
sure,
you see that kind of user generated like review or promotion of a product, and definitely get your eyes open. I mean, I guess an example would be like Tim Ferriss and Athletic Greens. It's like, okay, well, like I know Tim Ferriss, I trust Tim Ferriss. I like Tim Ferriss and I want to get healthier. Let's try Athletic Greens. It's like, and so, that's just kind of like one small example, but yeah.
No, I love it. Yeah. And to your point, it's like, I think it's like a mixture, like the influencer marketing is like really powerful, obviously. Right. But then like you were saying, the user generated content, it could just be like a regular person, being able to use that. And that could really like, get people to purchase as well. It's like, in the cosmetic, industry, like, women putting on makeup, you might be able to see a person that looks similar to you, has a similar skin or has similar hair, and then that you can relate to that. You know what I mean? Like that user generated content, even though you might not know the person, but they like somewhat like have similar features as you. You're just like, oh, cool. Like I have like, light skin just like them. I have dark skin just like them, whatever, you know what I mean? And so it's like, these are the products that I'm using for my type of hair or my type of skin, whatever. Then I think that's really powerful because it just, what is that? Social proof. That's really what it boils down to. It's just like, so reviews, user generated content is extremely powerful. And so, I'm like super passionate about like getting deeper and deeper into this like whole psychology of like retention and understanding like, customer experience. I really love that. Like, Eli, he actually used to work for Olipop, but now he's at Jones Road. And so being able to like see his content is like really, really amazing, and kind of hear that. And, I think it would be, I think it's really, it's more of a like a long-term thing, you know what I mean? But I think building that audience is like, and nurturing them, and like just not always just hitting them over the head with sales emails. You know what I mean? It's like, it's it's
brand
difficult.
building.
Brand building is like, is what I'm trying to say. So, but yeah, like as I said before the call, we jumped on or started recording, 45 minutes is going to come up quick. And so, like time flies when you're having fun, but, we can go ahead and like, kind of cut it off here. If you had any last minute things that you wanted to touch on, go for it. But if not, we can, peace out and come back another day.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. You can find Sean and I both on on Instagram. We're on LinkedIn. We're definitely pushing out a lot more content, and we just want to keep doing this. And so, I haven't gotten the whole YouTube, smash the like button, I haven't gotten that down just yet. So, but they know what to do. But
yeah, you know what to do.
You know what to do. All right, guys. Appreciate it. We're out.
Later.
Peace.